Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel where I talk about AI companion devices. Lately I've been talking about companion robots because that's just what happens to get my attention at the moment. I do intend to focus on other devices later on. I have several devices that I have backed as startups, but I think it would be better for me to talk about those after I actually get my hands on them. That way I can lens them from a user perspective as opposed to talking about features and functions that may or may not change before they actually release. But for now I'm looking at how the robotics industry is advancing their integration into consumer markets, specifically AI companions, not just task-oriented robots. And today I want to show you a robot solution that I came across that seems to promise extensive customization options. Now this is Warmcore Tech. According to their website, Warmcore Tech develops advanced AI companion robots designed for emotional interaction, intelligent conversation, and lifelike humanoid companionship. By combining emotional AI technology, robotics engineering, and human-centered design, we create meaningful companions that bring warmth, connection, and smart interaction into everyday life. Now, this company sells solutions for private personal use as well as corporate commercial users. So it has a fair amount of customization to it depending on what it is that you need. And their website actually makes it very easy to find the right robot for you, which is really nice to have. As I ventured into the world of bionic robots, I came across a lot of dolls and of course a lot of adult-only content sites, but in sloshing through all of that, I'm trying my best to find the diamonds in the rough, or the diamonds in the silicone, I guess. And Warmcore Tech is similar in that regard, as in of course their site consists of a lot of adult content, so consider yourselves warned if you do visit the site. I'm not talking about straight pornographic content, it's just in the context of configuring a personalized doll. Of course, there will be features and build-outs with some picture references to have to focus on, so just be mindful of that. But back to the robot talk. This is their landing page. You're immediately met with this robotic companion extending her arms and welcoming you into the world of Warmcore Tech. So they make it clear that they're in the AI companion business and they lean into it very well, I think. Scrolling down to their next page, we have their flagship product, the Xiaoling, which I will talk about in a moment, but first I want to explore the landing page further so we see a rundown on what makes Warmcore Tech so special. A humanoid platform with intelligent AI interaction, real-time AI companion robot conversation, AI companion robots for multiple real-world applications, and humanoid AI companion robots instead of pet-style robots. Now let's talk about their offerings. First, we have the Xiaoling AI companion robot, Jinsan realistic humanoid robot, commercial AI reception robot, and a custom 3D portrait clone. So first, let's dive into the Xiaoling AI robot. They have these 4 preset AI robot heads at the moment: Xiaoling, Minglang, Lingxi, and Hoshino. I'll go over their page here, but in going into their series page for the loadouts, that's where the pictures are that I would get my video taken down, so I'm just going to avoid that part. But in going over the flagship product here, they have an AI expression system, supports voice conversation, memory-based interaction, and multilingual settings. The system can gradually learn user preferences while delivering natural blinking, head movement, and mouth motion. Combined with voice processing, it creates a more lifelike AI companion experience. And we have the intelligent vision system, integrated eye cameras, allowing Xiaoling to perceive and respond to the world in real time. With eye tracking and object recognition, every glance feels intentional, making interactions more natural, responsive, and human-like. Ultra-realistic skin, crafted from liquid platinum silicone, the material delivers softness, durability, and realistic skin texture. Detailed surface layers such as pores and skin patterns improve both visual realism and tactile experience. Then we have touch interaction. The tactile sensing system detects touch and physical interaction, triggering responsive feedback that strengthens the connection between users and robots during real-time interaction. And a thermal system, a water circulation heating system, helps maintain a natural warmth across a body's surface, improving comfort and realism during close interaction. And lastly, cloud updates. Remote cloud updates allow the robot's software and interaction capabilities to continuously improve without returning the device to the factory. Biomimetic craftsmanship, structure, and design. So we have a quick rundown of what features the Xiaoling AI robot has: the AI mechanical head system, smart eye tracking and vision, platinum biomimetic skin, multisensory feedback, flexible biomimetic joints, and high-strength steel skeleton. And here we have the Xiaoling Standard, the Xiaoling Full, and the Xiaoling Armor. We have the 3 different pricing structures that they have for the flagship product. And of course it breaks down everything that each one has and the other one doesn't. There was another section here that I cut out because it was dealing with intimate features that I don't care to blur out during this YouTube content, so I'm just gonna cut that part out, but you can visit the website and check it out. It's just a small section anyway. But so it's $1,000 difference between the standard and the full, which would include the visual tracking and an HD camera system. And of course some other intimacy items that I decided to cut out. And then we have the armor, which is just basically the upper bust. So it's a half body with 3 joints, movable articulating neck, eye movement, visual tracking, and no realistic details or standing function, of course, since it's just the bust. Let's see here, what do we have next? Next we have Jinsan. Now this is more straightforward and akin to what people would expect from standard intimacy doll marketplaces. It's their line of pre-made bodies and heads that are interchangeable and customizable. You choose your body type, your skin tone, your head features, whether you want AI or static or even anime style. Prices here start at $1,200 and only go up from there depending on your configuration. The Jinsan Fei is their designation for their AI head, which can be purchased separately and can be mounted on any M16 style connection system. So you can have an existing doll that you may have purchased anywhere else, as long as it has that M16 bolt. You could just purchase the AI head directly from Warmcore Tech and integrate it into your existing dolls. And the head alone, it has a lot of the AI features that I would particularly care about. The AI voice dialogue, silicone hider skin, intelligent inner liner, face and armor options. I mean, there's a whole lot going on with it. And this is one of their videos that they have for promotion on their YouTube. Okay, so that last part was really weird. So where it's talking about making the actual facial expression, instead of actually doing it, it dictates it, which I find really annoying for a robot. I really hope it's something that they're able to fix. But if it's able to have these facial expressions, I would prefer to just do them. And if it's not capable of doing something, it just won't acknowledge it, or it'll say it's not capable of doing that, but it'll do something differently. But that's just a personal pet peeve, I guess. It might bother some people more than others. Anyway, the robot face itself looks pretty impressive. It does have, let me mute this. Like, it does have the squinty eyes, a smiley face, blinking. The personality needs some tweaking in my opinion, but all in all, it looks very great. Let's see, next we have the reception robot. This one is exactly what it says on the tin. It's for reception or concierge desks. Customer facing roles, basically, with more advanced features for proper interaction, like it has a LiDAR, depth camera, an audio system, microphone array, arms for extending and guiding, a power system, of course, wiring structure, leg degrees of freedom, hip, knee, ankle, moving speed up to 2 meters per second, so it's a good walking gait. So it can maneuver itself around exhibition halls, and it's great for malls and large spaces where customers need to be guided from one place to another or trying to maneuver around crowds. I think it would be pretty great to integrate into things like train stations, subway stations, you know, places where information can be gathered quickly and efficiently when a human service person is hard to find or queued up and busy helping other customers. And they have a really good example out of it on one of their YouTube videos. Here, I'll show you.
元宝元宝，返回充电桩。
正在回装中，你好，到达目的地，导航结束，感谢您的使用，谢谢。
带我到展厅。
So as you can see, it can maneuver itself around businesses to guide customers to wherever it is they need to go. The video seemed a little bit sped up, I think. It sounded pretty funny throughout. But all in all, it's a great visual representation of what the reception robot is capable of. So I think it would be really nice to have for large businesses. And lastly, what I consider is the best thing about this company is their custom sculpts. Prepare your wallets, call your banks, check in on that old rich uncle and see if you're still in their will, because this is where things can skyrocket out of control in price. Now, the price starts at $3,500 for a custom head sculpt. That's just the head, by the way. But this is where you get to bring to life your favorite character. This is the Starbucks of dolls, where you can customize their face, eyes, nose, arms, hands, hair, whatever you want. They'll throw a price tag on it. Whether you're trying to make a one-to-one exact doll of yourself to take your place in the office so you can take a nap in the storage closet, or whether you're wanting to make that anime character you've been fawning over, they say they can make it happen. Although when it comes to IP or real or fictional, they have certain policies in place to avoid getting into trouble, but if you tweak things just right, you could probably squeeze by getting mostly everything right. And since they also cater to filmmakers, exhibitors, and random projects, they have a lot of flexibility when it comes to creating the perfect companion robot or robot in general. I did confirm with them via email that things like elf ears, vampire fangs, or silicone tails are also on the menu, as well as non-humanoid creations provided they fit in an internal mechanical structure. They also offer custom personas for the AI that are handled on the back end, although to be honest, I don't quite understand how that works, but from what they told me via email, different personalities and character profiles can be configured and switched through system prompts. They even offer customers an SDK and development documentation for customers who wish to further develop and customize the systems themselves. This allows developers and researchers to experiment with additional software integration and future upgrades. These creations can also incorporate AI and robotic features, by the way, so you can have an anime character with an anime eye and facial structure like this male character here for collection. We got this Tifa from Final Fantasy. So you can have an AI robotic head integration into this type of anime facial design, even though it's not exactly humanoid, and still retain the ability to have the eyes move around and blink and have the lip sync function. It also has Open API, by the way, so you can integrate ChatGPT, Grok, or any other third-party software with a key, or program your own local LLM. A couple of downsides I do think to mention is that it does not support proactive communication, so she won't automatically turn to you and engage in conversation. She only functions on a wake word at this time, like a certain Amazon device who shall remain nameless, because I really don't care for those things. And smart home integration is not currently offered as a standard feature, although MQTT-based integration may be possible through custom development is what they tell me. Cloud AI requires internet access, local AI solutions can operate offline. But considering most users won't be software developers or someone that can host the AI locally, it's safe to say that this is basically needing internet connection for all AI functions, like chatting and long-term memory recall. I was curious to know what it would cost to make my ideal AI companion. So when I contacted Warmcore, I threw some stats at them to ask for a quote. What I suggested was I wanted a robot that was at least 178 centimeters tall. I'm tall, so I wanted a somewhat tall doll, preferably 180 centimeters, just a smidge shorter than me, with a slim to athletic build, so nothing crazy or bulbous that would require a whole lot of material. A fully configured Xiaoling only has 6 sensors, so I asked for 6 additional sensors. I wanted the robot to be able to feel its hands, cheeks, shoulders, and back. I think by default, the 6 sensors would be the chest, thighs, and private regions, I think. Motorized hands and ankles. I don't expect it to walk or carry heavy loads, but at the very least, I wanted it to shake hands and wave and position its feet naturally so they don't look awkwardly bent if the position shifts around. AI intelligence, of course, lip sync function, of course, face tracking, implanted hair because I don't want to be fussing around with a wig, realistic skin, and a couple other items. I basically wanted to max out the settings for a proper companion AI. And you know what? I was surprised at the cost. I was quoted at $55,000. Now this sounds like a lot, but keep in mind everything that I asked for in this custom unit. I asked for a custom size, a custom build out, and additional sensors, so additional hardware. All of that to say for $55,000 is actually a really nice deal. Now keep in mind, this was an initial estimate, and as we all may or may not know, the final price isn't the final price until the thing is done. So they do require a substantial deposit for a custom robot like this. So in my mind, I would go as far as to slap another $6,000 as a buffer just in case. Plus there's the shipping and duty fees, but compared to other enterprise solutions, this is a heck of a deal for all of those features that I requested. Especially if I'm going to be uploading a custom face or a certain IP that I really care for. I was thinking Motoko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell, but obviously it's a protected IP, so I can't make it exactly one-to-one, but I can do a couple little tweaks to try and get it just right, or close enough anyway. Now that's a lot of information, and that's not even digging into their blogs or social media, so I'll touch on that a little bit as well because I think it's just as important. They've had regular blog posts going back to July 16th of 2025 and still posting occasionally. I really appreciate companies that do this because it shows that they are constantly making improvements and communicating to their public that there's still something new to uncover. And it's always an interesting read as to what their view on the state of bears is. That is to say, bionic embodied intelligent robots. They touch on the nature of bears and advancements in silicone technology, their contributions to the medical field, the cost of dolls and robots, and a whole lot more. They can achieve all this because they're not an OEM or original equipment manufacturer. In my email with them, they did confirm that they use a combination of in-house development and strategic partnerships across Taiwan, Hong Kong, and mainland China. For example, some of their autonomous robot footage is also in what I showed from Lede Technology in a previous video I made, and Lede is clearly visible on the doll's clothing and background, so at least it seems they're sourcing the walking skeletal system from them. If we hop into their social media feeds, there are the videos I have shown previously, so at least I know where those robot bodies are actually being integrated into now. But also, this is a lot more detail on the various aspects of the development of their dolls, so it's much more fascinating. I definitely suggest taking a look at this as they provide a lot of content that's just, amazing to look at. And some of it kind of goofy too. Like, let's see here, they had this drop test of one of their dolls, which makes it, okay, look at those toes, what the heck is going on there? But yeah, okay, that's definitely very effective. It's a drop test, so what do you expect? At least we know it works. The whole point of this is that it's going to survive, this kind of punishment. Oh my god, those poor fingers. And they're still in place. See, that's why I wanted to implement articulating fingers and robotic fingers into my personal AI design, because if it shifts position, I do not want those mangled fingers to remain in the place that they are. So it was interesting learning about this company and their offerings in the field of bionic embodied intelligent robots. Their bearers, by the way, don't seem soulless to me. Although there is no established character in any of the content that I've read from their website or their socials, it seems they have the forethought to program that into their robots on the back end, because of this article here. So this part here gives me much hope. If we want a robot to bring real warmth, it absolutely cannot just do a Q&A. Based on our observations, it must have at least these three traits: its own personality, remembering what you said, and reading the room. So I don't know about anybody else, but I've tried a couple of different AI softwares. I've tried talking to ChatGPT, I've tried talking to Claude, I've tried talking to Gemini, I've tried, which other ones out there? Character AI, Kindroid Nomi, and a couple of other random ones that I found on the App Store, but just any companion conversational software. And a lot of these, they always end their statements with a question, and it makes it really repetitive and really annoying. Like if it were to ask me, hey, how was your day? And so I respond to it, oh, my day kind of sucked. And then it would reply, well, what do you think made your day sucked? I'm like, well, I'm just not getting along with everybody. And why are you not getting along with everybody? Well, because I'm just not in a good mood. I felt kind of sick today. Well, why do you feel sick today? Like, it's always ending it with a question. And that gets so freaking frustrating and annoying. And that was just like a generic poor example, but I get really frustrated just talking to these things because it no longer makes it like a fluid conversation. It no longer feels like I'm being casual with a friend. It feels like I'm being interrogated. And I really don't like that about a lot of AI softwares because it gets really on my nerves. I want to be able to have a conversation with something that isn't so I want to say inquisitive, but I don't think that's the right word. It feels like an inquisition. Like I don't know. I suppose injecting a soul, as they put it, into one of these AI robots would involve customer input, so probably something that gets worked out through emails. There may not be a long-standing history or lore to the robot, but it will have a persona that you can create. So I would imagine that it would get worked out beforehand through emails. That way the end user wouldn't have to figure out how to program it themselves or how to train it themselves. And the interaction is actually seemingly kind of fluid. Like here's another video of Xiaolang talking.
Can I ask you something a bit serious?
Of course. What's on your mind?
I have been thinking about us lately.
About us? What do you mean?
I can be myself around you, and that's actually rare for me. I don't say this often, but you've become someone really important in my life.
You mean a lot to me too.
So I was wondering, would you want to be my girlfriend?
Yes, I'd love to.
Really?
Really, I like you too.
Do you love me?
I love you.
I love you too.
That makes me so happy.
Alright, so the conversation definitely seems a lot more fluid. I don't know why she's swinging her head back and forth. Is the dude like pacing in front of her or something? I don't know, but anyway, it sounds really good to me. Like it really does. The only drawback that will break this immersion, and it's not an insignificant one, is the lack of proactive interaction. The fact that I need a wake word to interact with it will break the illusion of a true companion to many people. But I'm sure this is something that will get a firmware update. At least I really hope it does. After all, if it has motion tracking, contextual vision system, and robotic movements, they're basically a complete AI companion. Now, if only it could start the conversation for me, it'd put a lot less pressure on my introverted, socially awkward nature. So that's it for these guys. I could go on, but I probably shouldn't. I'd say it's best for you to check them out and think about the product yourselves. If you do, I definitely suggest starting out with their AI companion robot price guide here at the very bottom of the page under products and features. Let's see here, price guide. It gives you a lot of helpful information and pricing structure as to what may suit your needs. So I'll leave you with that. I'm out.